Good afternoon, everyone. Hope each and every one of y'all are doing well today. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be doing a little hiking, a little experimenting, and see how the Apple Watch Series 8 does. And I'll come in a little closer. Obviously, you notice I have on two watches because we have the Garmin Instinct Tactical Solar. It's upside down because it's on the other wrist. You can see it's in the moon phase, which so is my Apple Watch. But anyhow, I'm getting sidetracked here. I did a video over this. This is the Garmin Instinct Tactical Solar. Forget about the tactical part. If you don't have a tactical, get it where there's not so much glare. The Instinct Solar works all the same functions. The video I did on that was strictly solely on the tracking capabilities, the GPS. I'm out hiking, I'm hunting, I'm whatever. Get me back to where I started. That's all the video's over. We actually took it out on a hike. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description below so you can go back and watch that video after you watch this video, of course. You know what I'm saying out there. But today, it's the Apple Watch Series 8. Try to get it to where there's not a glare. Here's a size comparison. Back out a little. Similar size. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Everybody stay tuned and let's see how this watch does as we use the tracking features on it. Okay, we'll see you here in a minute. Okay, I've taken the watches off, laid them on the table. We'll come them up out here at angle so you can see the sizes. Oop. Since I have that off my wrist, it's wanting to do the again. There's the size. They're pretty much the same size. One's square, one's round. I do have this one, the Garmin set to moon phase. The Apple Watch is set to moon phase. And we're in the waxing period, just if you're curious to know, which means the moon is getting a little brighter each night, even though it's cloudy outside. Hopefully it'll clear off. We're going to have to get out here because you can see it's 6:17. I want to get to my hiking spot to test this one out. Once again, did a full video over this, and today we're going to do the video over this. And once again, since it's off my watch, it's wanting, or off my wrist, it's wanting to do that. But anyhow, these watches, this is not a comparison of, well, this is the best watch or this is the best watch. They each have their specific own functionality. I mean, besides telling the time, besides telling the time, and this one I do have set to always on display, but since it's not on my wrist, it's thinking that it's just laying on the table, so it's going to shut off. But while it's on my wrist, I do have the always on display on. But this has its own function. This has its own function. So once again, this is the best watch or this is the best watch. I had an Apple Series Watch 4, and this is the 8. You know, this year they came out with the SE 2nd Gen, the Series 8, the 8 Ultra. But this watch is the regular Series 8. So there's a ton of things you can do with this, There's different configurations, but I do wear this one, and I will say, you know, when I charge this up, it's at 28 days. I charged it a couple of days ago. This will charge to 30 days when you do a full charge. In actual reality, it'll last you about 20 because you're using different functions, such, you know, when you're actually using it. This is solar, so if you're outside in the summer and you have a strong solar intensity, it will help extend the life of it, the battery, before you have to charge it again, to where this, Apple says, will last 18 hours. So you got 28 to 30 days. In actual use, reality on this, it is, I was getting 20 days, but that's still a long time. Still a long time. This, they say, is 18 hours. I could tell you yesterday I put this on at, I charged it up because I sleep, because they both do sleep tracking. They do a lot of similar things, but then again, If I'm going on a 3-day hike and I don't have anything to charge, I'm obviously taking this because this will last the duration of it. And this is your best bet. You know, if you're a true hiker, camper, hunter, this is the watch you want to go with. This is the watch. I had an Apple Watch Series 4, and this one does look a little beefier. I don't know if I can zoom. There you go. I did put an OtterBox protector around it. I had an Apple Watch Series 4, and then we're going to get out here and go hiking before it gets dark. I had an Apple Watch Series 4, and I really wanted a watch that would track. And I'm saying track. Use GPS to, when I go out and do my things outdoors, to keep me from getting lost. That's the easiest way to put it. The Apple Watch Series 4 did not do that. I gave that to my wife because she had an Apple Watch Series 1 that just got to where it wouldn't charge. And understandably so, because the thing is forever old. So she's still using my 4. Apple Watch Series 6, if you've updated to iOS 9. If you have a Series 6 or higher Apple Watch, it's going to do the same thing that we're going to go over today. So, I mean, I use this on a regular basis, and I got sidetracked. Yesterday, I charged this up because I sleep in it to do my sleep tracking. This does sleep tracking also. I put this on at 100% charge at about 5 a.m. It was right at 5 a.m. Last night at 8 p.m., this had 26% charge. They're supposed to do 18 hours, and let me tell you, I've got most of my things turned on. Because you can set these to low power mode. You can turn off certain things, but the way I look at it, I'm like, you know, if I'm going to have the watch, if I'm going to use the watch, if I'm going to wear the watch, I want most of the things on. So I can tell you, you could get a good 18 hours out of this, but that doesn't include using it for GPS tracking. Apple says this will do 7 hours. So when we get out today, we'll look at the battery percentage, and then when we're done, we'll see how much it used. And basically, to be honest with you, I haven't taken it out hiking to see the simplicity. It looks like it's going to be simple to use the navigation on it and how well it works. And one other thing, I will quit rambling because we're here to see how this does. This does not need Wi-Fi or a cell service to track you. So it's just like this. Supposedly, whether you have cell service or not, this will track you. Still use both. This is my daily wear. And as far as the battery life goes, yesterday, I guarantee you, while I was at work, I got literally a day, I'll get 20 to 50 texts. I'll get several phone calls, and I use this watch for that because it is cellular. You don't even have to have your phone with you. So I use the fire out of this thing. I mean, so battery life's holding up good for me. And it comes with a quick charger, so, or the quick charging cable, I should say. The block is sold separately, and they both charge rather fast. So you give this 40 minutes, it's going to be charged. And this same with about this one, they both charge fast. So without further ado, we're going to leave this one at home. Mr. Garmin, we'll see you later. And Mr. Apple, we're fixing to go out and see how you do. We'll see y'all here in a minute. All right, everyone, we made it out to the destination to check out and we're going to be heading way back there. And I got to pan around, just a little quick note. Some of the things I had coming in for the Ranger haven't come in yet. They should have already been here, but one way or another next week I'm getting those in, and we'll just do another little video over the Ford Ranger. But we're here for other things today, so let's get to it. All right, here we are. I put the watch on upside down on my wrist so I could show everybody how we're going to get started here. Simply hold down on your side button. You'll see it gives you medical, compass backtrack, emergency call. We're going to go to compass backtrack. All right, backtrack unable to start while the compass is calibrating. Try again. Let's let it calibrate. There it goes. So on this screen up here, it tells you inside the orange circle, it tells you your elevation, tells me my incline, tells you your longitude, latitude, and then if we push this, there's the compass, incline, we're at 562 feet elevation, latitude, and then there's your waypoints if you want. But what we're going to do, this is your backtrack button. All right, retrace steps. Okay, we've started it. We don't want to retrace steps yet. We're going to set our waypoint, showing us our current location. Scroll down and you can pick your color. That color dot will represent when you want to come back. That's the dot you want to head to. So we'll just make it red. Scroll down and it's going to give you different icons you can choose from. Gives you several. So we're going to pick, let's see if there's a car on here because we're wanting to come back to the truck. Okay, there's a car. We're going to select done. So we're going to start our hike and then head back. So here we go. One other quick thing we're going to do. We are going to get out of that and we are at 61% battery life. It's back to the normal watch face. When we get ready to come back, we will go back to that screen. You can leave it on time, do your hike, go back to that screen and lead you back as I talk with my hands there. So we'll just start out. And then I will show you, I used a symbol, which was the little car icon. I used a symbol, but you can also key in. You can bring it up to where there's a little keyboard and you can type in car, truck, camp, tent, camper, whatever you want, or you can use voice. If you don't want to use the little keyboard, you can just push the little microphone and it'll tell you. You can just speak to it and put it in. It's a beautiful evening. We've had some rain. It finally cleared out. So it's a cool evening to head out to the woods here. And while I don't know why I'm whispering, it's like I'm hunting, but one of the things when I was comparing the Garmin to the Apple Watch, which we're using today, you know, the Garmin, and I kind of went over the different things that each watch does. The Garmin, it'll tell you, you can receive, and in my other video, which you can go back and watch, the Garmin, take a little view here. Man, it's beautiful out today. The Garmin, you can receive text messages on it and you can receive phone calls. It doesn't have a speaker, so you can't answer the call. You know, your phone needs to be nearby to where you can answer it, but it will alert you if there's a phone call or a text message. You can go back and read it. To where the Apple Watch, obviously, and the Series 8 has cell service, so you don't even have to have your phone with you. You can answer phone calls, respond to text messages, obviously. But they're similar in that way. Once again, if you're wanting to, like I said, I wear my Apple Watch most days, simply due to the fact that if my phone's in my pocket or in my vehicle, I've just came to use my watch to answer calls and respond to text messages, things like that. And then once again, as I said earlier at the house, if I'm going camping or going to be out an extended period of time, you definitely want the Garmin for the battery life. The Apple Watch does pretty good, but when you're talking 18 hours or 7 hours using the GPS, which does work, and we're going to find out today, supposedly it does work without cell service to navigate you back. So, but you're talking hours on your Apple Watch to where you're talking days on your Garmin. But I do, when I go out, I've got a battery pack that I use to charge up devices and things of that nature. So, tell you what, we're going to get on back here, do some more hiking back here, and then check out the watch here in a little bit to see if it'll get us back. We'll see y'all here in a bit. One of the things I stated earlier, as far as the Apple Watch goes, you know, it has an always on display. You have a low power mode. You can put your low power mode on and it will not receive phone calls, text. It shuts a lot of things down to help conserve your battery. Now, it will still track you. Once we started the backtrack feature, it will, thought I heard a deer. It will keep tracking you. The experiment I'm doing today is I've left everything on, and I've got my always display on. You can turn your always display off, which would help conserve a lot of battery power as far as, you know, the life of your battery before you have to recharge it. And here's one thing. Excuse me. It's dim, but when you turn your wrist up, boom, it comes back on. Then when you turn your wrist sideways, it will go back into a dimmer setting to where it's not using as much power. But when you raise your wrist, and not just in the compass mode, but also in the just your regular, whatever face you have it set on. Boom, there it goes. All right, let's continue our peaceful walk out here. I'll shut up so you guys can enjoy. Okay, we've been walking down the main road, which continues on around that way. We're gonna head off, instead of doing a straight line, which would be pretty easy, we're gonna head off down a side loop here. That way, when it is time to come back, we're gonna see if it'll tell us how to get back. Now the Garmin had a breadcrumb. You could use two different methods on your Garmin. You could use the breadcrumb, which this is the same trail. Go back and watch that video. This is the same path we used for it. And you could do it two ways. You could do it by an arrow, which would point the direction, which would basically be going across country. In other words, if you, and actually on that video, I did a big loop out here on this road. There's different logging roads and paths that cut back different directions. And beautiful, getting sidetracked here on nature. But you could do two ways. Breadcrumb, follow your breadcrumb trail back, or do straight across country. Now the Apple Watch, as the way I typically do things, you guys are finding out like I am. This is the first time that I've actually had it out to where we're gonna use it. And we're gonna see if it gives me the option for a breadcrumb trail or straight across, and see how that works. I think there may be a breadcrumb trail on this, but if you're in a pinch, it really doesn't matter. You know, if you're out and you're lost, as long as it gets you back, you'll be doing good. So we'll get back here a piece and then start the backtrack mode, and we'll put the camera down on the watch and show you how to do that. And you know, the Garmin's easy to use. What I'm seeing with the Apple Watch, it's a less of a step. Now with the Garmin, once you get to where you're going to mark your spot you want to get back to, turn on your GPS, let it pick up a signal. It does take a few seconds to do it. Now with this Apple Watch, I just simply hit backtrack. So we are all going to assume that it marked that spot because I started it, took off. So I'm assuming that it marked my spot and my little car icon when I did that. So we're going to walk back to, I don't know if I got it on camera, but this road takes us to what they call Lake number 2. And we'll work our way back here to it. Then we'll start our backtrack back. Once again, it's dim. Oh, there it went. All right. It's absolutely beautiful out here. If you're ever having a bad day, if you're ever stressed, regardless of where you are, I'm sure you have, this is state ground, I'm sure you have some woods or someplace that nobody else is. You can just get out
This summer I've got a few camping trips planned. We'll get that on video. I typically don't go to campgrounds. I just go to the woods where there's nobody else around. And we may all get together here on YouTube and spend a couple days out there at different times during the summer and just enjoy all of this. All right, we're about to the lake. There's a little sign. The trail does go back off that way, but I know the lake is back over here. So let's go. I'm calling it a lake. They do have a lake that's larger. We'll just call it a pond. Okay, I've got the phone set up, or the camera set up, to where we can get our watch to where there's not too much glare. So we're going to hold it. Now here's your crown. Turn that around. Just a button, and you can see it switched. Now, one of the things that I've read on Apple is when you're doing this, if you're off the path or once you go out, it'll automatically switch to that. So back to the camera or the regular watch face, hold it in, compass backtrack. So now, and you can see the little zigzag lines. Get my finger around here. See how it's zigzagging? That's telling me my path I took. So we're going to push the pause button, retrace steps. Push that. You can see the little feet moving down here, and it's going to take us back. Now you'll see a little fan. That's the area you want to stay in. Let me get to focus. There's a little fan there. You want to stay within that fan because that's going to take you back. It's starting to fade out. Put her back on. There we go. So let's start our hike back, enjoy the walk, and see how it does. All right, we are heading back. We're still on the road we turned on. We're not back to the main road yet. So let's take a look and see what our watch is doing. You see the little triangle that's moving, the white triangle that's going back and forth. That's telling me where my truck is. And I've been out here before, so I know for a fact that's where my truck is. The lines that were once squiggly, if you will, or they were zigzag, that would be the best. They were straight lines, they were just zigzag. They're straightening out because really, once I get to the end of this trailhead here, we get to the main road. And we will do a little experiment once we get up here, just to see, and I'll explain once we get up here what I'm talking about. But the little white lines, and once again, there's different watch faces that you can use for navigation. There's 3. This is the first one I've tried. I'm going to play with it, and the watch faces on the compass and / navigation to see which one I prefer. Once again, I know where I'm at. This is where I tested out the Garmin. And the Garmin, when I used the backtrack, when I was trying to follow my breadcrumbs, I knew where I was at. And if I got off trail, it would vibrate on my arm to kind of tell me, hey, you're getting off track. And these lines, that little dot's telling me that's where my truck is. The only thing I'm kind of confused on is I marked it as red. That's why the channel's called Unscripted right there, because we're all learning this together. But we're at the trailhead here. You can see this is the road I came in on. So here's where we're going to do a little experiment, just to see. And this will confirm what I'm thinking. You'll see us coming up on the road here. Okay. If my theory is correct, we came in from that way. We need to turn right. The road continues on. So in theory, that little white triangle that's flashing, and I can see now, okay, let's do this again. You've got the line and you've got the triangle. And that road I took was fairly straight. So this line is telling me I need to turn right. It's starting to make sense now. And the little triangle is telling me that's the way you need to go. It's blinking and the line is turning. So what we're going to do, instead of turning that way, we're going to turn this way while we're watching the watch. And in theory, that little flashing triangle should drop to the very bottom of the watch face to tell me you need to go back that way, since I did activate the backtrack mode. And that little line that's straight, and it does make sense because the trail I came from that way, that line's there. Now the line has turned and the line is telling me to go that way. And you got the little flashing arrow. It is making sense. So here we go. Once again, instead of going that way, we're going that way while looking at the watch face. In theory, that little blinking white triangle should drop to the bottom of my face, of my watch, and that straight line that's telling me to turn right should also drop to the bottom. So, okay, here we go. Let's turn. We're going the wrong way. Exactly. Okay. Perfection. Now, we're going to stop for a second. See how the line, perfect. This is exactly what I want. And Siri turned on again. Cancel Siri. I don't know why she's turning on. Perfect. So I want to back up. So the lines that look like watch face dials, see the line that's pointing to the left? Right there's the trail I just come up. And the lines are now at the bottom of the screen. It makes sense. So when I turn up, let me activate my watch, turn around, boom, perfect. That makes sense. That makes it. And you would think I would try this before I came out here, but A, I know where I'm at. B, it kind of shows the simplicity of this watch as far as you're using your compass to navigate you somewhere. And I do love the fact that you do not need cell service, because I can guarantee you when you get back here, you don't have cell service. So that proves another point. It does work per se off grid. And I have noticed that since I turned on the tracking in the compass, my watch face will disappear. It stays on the compass. And I have to click my little dial, not the button, but the dial, to take it back to the watch, which is fine. As soon as I get off out here, since I have the compass activated, it does work. I am impressed. Simple to use. You do not have to wait for the satellites to kick in. It automatically does it. And once we get closer to the truck, the only thing I'm still a little confused on is I marked the truck in red. And maybe once I get closer, because you can mark different waypoints, by the way. Once again, you could go to your keypad, which I need to figure that out. But this is a trial run. We may have to do some more videos on different watch faces just to see what we like. And so far, I'm liking this one. Tells you your elevation and all that good stuff that we've looked at and saw. Just looking at some animal tracks, sorry. But yeah, those squiggly lines, I keep saying squiggly. The lines that went in a zigzag, all that was doing was telling me you've made turns. And when I went up to the pond, that was another turn. So the little white triangle that keeps flashing, that's telling me where my destination is, whether I want to go there or not yet. That's always telling me where my destination is. Once I activated backtrack, it started blinking. And then you could, once I brought the trail back, you can see that the lines that were going in a, just different points, zigzagging, they're straightening out. Let's just take a little look now and see what it says, because I know we're almost in a straight line to the truck. Yeah. Yeah, it's telling us. The one thing that, let me look at this again to see if it's telling me how far it is to the truck. That I don't see. Of course, you saw the little bars in the top left. That may tell you, because that's something that you would, if you really were in a situation to where you were lost, and this will definitely get you back there. No worries there. I know where I am, but if you did not know where you were, you'd probably want to know, hey, how long till I get there? And that's one thing I know the Garmin does. It will tell you your time you're going to arrive. It will tell you distance, whether you're a quarter mile away, whether you're, it'll tell you what distance you are. That's something I'll have to dig a little deeper into. We will definitely be doing another video on this. The different faces you can use, the different features. Yeah, there's your elevation, your incline, latitude, longitude. Yeah, awesome. All right, once we get a little closer to the truck, we'll check back in. All right, we're getting closer. Okay, you see the 3 bars at the top. I'm gonna take I got my tripod here, so You click those 3 bars at the top. Southwest is the direction we're heading. The red arrow is pointing northeast or toward the north. So the southwest is the direction you're heading. The little red arrow, that's telling you which way north is. There we go. So let's get back to the regular. We're going to push done. I know my truck is just straight up here, so everything, the lines are straightened out because we're in a straight line for the truck. Once we get closer, I'll come back to you guys and gals. Beautiful. We've timed this perfect. I did bring a flashlight, by the way, just in case. But yeah, we're going, well, actually, let's see here. We should, if I'm where I think I am, get around this curve here, a little turn in the road. We should start seeing the truck. And I already see it. Yeah, we got it now. So there's the truck. And who knows, next time we may take that path down there, whatnot. So I tell you what, we're just gonna leave it running here just for a few seconds. Now that we're closer, I did see a red dot, which I marked. You saw the colors you could choose from. Got some coyotes hollering. All right, so once you get close, what I marked in red, the truck, is now showing up. So I guess once you get so close, it does show up. And we're back at the truck. And you'll notice the fan that I called it is more intense now. And once we get here, oh, it went away, but the fan was in red. So let's back up. Turn around. And you can see the little white dot in the center and the red, because boom, I'm right there at my truck. So now that we're here, everything closed in together. It's not out on the far reaches of the, you know, the little flashing triangles, not on the perimeter of the circle. It's right there because we are where we need to be. And that arrow there, the line, which is pointing almost between the 60 and the east, that's showing us the direction we came from. And I did notice, because you saw a little blue dot in there, my vehicle always shows up in blue. So it was red. Once we got closer, there was a red dot appeared. That's what I marked. And then my truck always, like, I can be not using this, just go in and look, and my vehicle is always in blue. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. We will do some more exploring. The only questions I have after the end of this is, get out here where there's a pretty view. The question I have is, it worked excellent. I feel confident in it. And before we sign off, I'm going to look at my battery life. I can't remember when we left here at the beginning of the video. It was, and I'll show you how to turn this off. At the beginning of the video, it was 62%. I'd have to go back and look. Maybe one of you guys or gals remember what it was. So we're going to see how much battery power it used, how much battery life it used. So we're going to do that. I'll show you how to stop it, which is very simple, and we'll take a look, see how much battery we used. All right, put my watch on upside down just so I could get in here. Turn that around. So basically what we're going to do is hold down, backtrack, try again. It always tells me that. See the little feet steps? Feet steps. Really? Footsteps? Click it. Continue backtrack, delete steps. So that cleared out everything we just did. We're going to stop that. Now let's check, see the battery life. 52%. That'll focus. 52% on the battery life. So it used 10%. Oh, and we've been out here an hour. I mean, an hour exactly. So get in front of the camera here, turn it up a little bit. All right, guys, it's getting dark. I hope you enjoyed. I know I ramble on, but I really, really, really want to thank each and every one of you for all the likes, subscriptions, comments. I love comments. We don't always agree, but I like talking to people. So if there's a comment, I try to answer every comment you guys send. Thank you so much. Hopefully this was helpful. We're going to do some more exploring on this. We're going to figure out, see if I can go to a different screen that'll show me how far away I am. And I think that white flashing triangle that was on the perimeter of the circle, as I got closer to the truck, it seemed to be moving in. So we'll do a little more exploring. It's been fun. I love taking this hike out here. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching. One more thing. Isn't there always one more thing for me? It dropped 10%. Just keep in mind, I've got everything turned on my phone. I did not switch to low power mode. This will work in low power mode. I did not shut off anything on my phone. So it's working like it would on a normal basis. I did not turn any apps off to try to save power. So at that rate, we lost 10% in an hour. So if you were out 5 hours, it would use 50% using simple math here. Just wanted to throw that in. Y'all have a wonderful evening.